Nisan ben Mordechai, Be'ezat Hashem, and also honor this class in the name of our soldiers and the U.S. soldiers that are fighting evil.
The Mordechai was your father? Or?
No, it's one of the ladies in the shul here. Her father passed away. That's here, their side today. So I want to say thank you to her for providing a Seudat mitzvah for everybody. And I want to thank Shmuel for helping, setting up everything. Chazak u'baruch. Right? And Leilu Nishmat Avraham ben David, Be'ezat Hashem, leMishpachat HaLevi. Be'ezat Hashem. Thank you, everybody. So, we have today an interesting, amazing class that, according to Tucker Carlson, Mashiach is coming. Baruch Hashem, right? That's a good thing, right? It says that, in the end of days, the Goyim will tell us about the Mashiach. That's some of the prophecy. And we see that, today we have a double header, Parashat Vayakhel and Pekudei. Usually we have one parasha every Shabbat, but this Shabbat we have double. Why? Because we have 54 parashot and 52 Shabbatot. So sometimes in order to...
Right?
Huh?
It's the first of Nisan that dictates it.
It depends on our calendar goes by the moon and the sun, the Jewish calendar. The Arab goes by the moon and the Christian go by the sun. We have to have 365 days. That's why we have 11 days are in a leap year that we add, several times in the course of 19 years. So every holiday falls on its time. Unlike the example of the Arabs, the Ramadan can change from summer to winter, We have to have Pesach on the 15th of Nisan. We have to have Rosh Hashanah. Every holiday has to be an exact moment of literally the second of the day. So Vayakhel and Pekudei are the last two parashot, and they are really the closing of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. And here we have an accounting of everything that's happened. It's very important when you have a shul, a synagogue, a kollel, you have to give accounting of what people donate. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu said, here's what we got, here's what we do, and here's what we got and everything. But the Torah opens with a very interesting say, Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat Yisrael. Moshe gathered the people of Israel. So there is a concept in the Torah that's called measure for measure. Midah keneged midah. You heard of it?
Yeah.
So, in the last parasha, we know that the Erev Rav, gathered on Aharon, Vayakhel Ha'am al Aharon, in order to build the golden calf, right? So Moshe now is doing a tikkun for that. He's doing a different Vayakhel to open the tabernacle, to really get everybody to do the tikkun for Chet HaEgel. The golden calf sin and the sale of Yosef is the two sins until today we pay for it. The Zohar says that because of those two sins, a third of the people that die in Israel and the Jewish people around the world are attributed to these two sins. Hence, Hitler, Yimach Shmo V'Shem Zichro, if not for no reason, he gave the children of Israel, he put them in a pajama that had lines, right? The pajamas of the Holocaust are stripes. It's Kutonet Yosef. Yosef had Kutonet Pasim, right? Yosef had the stripes, garment. And Hitler took the names out and gave us numbers, right? There are no more names anymore, or numbers. Why? Because we sold Yosef for 20 gera. It was a number. Hence, everything happened to us for a reason, right? And we see that, until this moment, the Shekhinah, they say the Shekhinah, the holiness of Hashem that resided upon the world, removed after the sin of Adam, and now will return 2,449 years later into this moment of building the tabernacle. The tabernacle, as we know, is the so-called Beit Mikdash that travels in the desert and in Israel for 480 years. It was 39 years in the desert and 441 years in Israel. And it will go from place to place, from Nov to Givon to Shiloh and so on and so forth. And of course, we now the people of Israel starting to build the Beit HaMikdash of the temple of the desert, the tabernacle. And of course, the tabernacle will take exactly 70 days to build, from Sukkot to Hanukkah. This is the first time in the history of the world that people donated, and Moshe says, enough, we have enough. I wish we all have this problem, right? And people want to donate, say, no, please don't, no more. Right? This is really, in a sense, what happened
here.
They
did it in 2 days, too.
Exactly, in 2 days. This whole parasha is really 2 days before Sukkot. And they give everything that they give. The Gemara says something amazing. Says that everybody gave. Everybody. Except who?
The princes.
The presidents.
No, the princes.
The presidents.
The presidents? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
The president of Israel, the 12th tribe president,
Yeah, the
they said, well, wait, see what they're missing, then we'll give. Hashem did not like them. Hashem took the letter Yud out of their name. Nesi'im without Yud, without the letter of Hashem. And then Hashem says, we don't need your help. I will throw you the stone of the breastplate, the shoham, right? The breastplate of the Kohen Gadol had 12 stones on it in the front. This is the first iPod, by the way. Ephod in Hebrew is iPod, right? You talk to it, it talks back to you, have Siri, lights, Oracle, Call, Larry, already there. Everything is already established. But in a sense, it said that everybody gave so much. And then, as Rabbi Mark taught us this morning, there was 2 young kids, amazing 13 years old kids, that actually were the master builder of this Mishkan. They were the project manager, Betzalel and Olihav.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Also 13?
yes,
I know.
both of them 13. One of them is the grandson of Miriam. Miriam was married to Kollel ben Yefuneh, the sister of Moshe and Aaron, and she had a son named Hur, and the Hur was actually, the son is Betzalel. The word Betzalel is Betzel El, in the shadow of Hashem, right? And Olihav is Ohale Av, meaning Elohe, the gods of the alphabet, so to speak, Moshe tried to challenge them because Hashem says, I'll give them Chokhmah and Ruach HaKodesh. Right? Every one of us can be Betzalel. Every one of us can be Moshe. That's why it's called Torat Moshe. Could be Torat Kevin. What's your Hebrew name, Kevin?
Chaim.
Chaim. Torat Chaim. It could be, right? Torat Melech. Torat Gal. Right? Everybody has the ability to be Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was born a baby, right? A baby that could not walk and crawl and whatnot, and they became Moshe Rabbeinu. These 2 kids, Betzalel and Oliav, they come from 2 tribes. The highest tribe, which is Yehuda, and the lowest tribe, so-called Dan. It tells you that it doesn't matter when it comes to Hashem. It doesn't matter where you come from. Everybody has the capability to be this amazing, reach at the highest level of kedusha. Imagine a kid. When everybody donates stuff, the Zohar says that when they donated, let's say gold, for an example, Betzalel will look at the gold and he will know how much love was put into this giving. We say, wow, this person gave it with so much love, I make the kruvim out of it, the cherubs out of it. People that gave gold that wasn't like, here I have to give because I have to give, will use for something not as important. It was the ability to foresee the power of giving. 13 years old. Moshe tried to challenge them. It changed what Hashem says. Betzalel said, no, that's not what Hashem showed me in Ruach HaKodesh. Because everything, I come to you and I say, here, let's build this tabernacle. Believe me, none of us will have the same thing, right? Just to read what's in it, we'll all have different ideas. This is, by the way, the first YouTube in the world. Because it says in the Torah, Hashem said, I showed you, like I showed you, a video, right, in iClouds, in the clouds of glory, all right? You saw all the images, you saw how to make, because Moshe did not know how to make things. Some of them he could not. Miksha kashe le Moshe. Few things that Moshe did not have. Mem is the menorah. He didn't know how to make the menorah. So how do you make a menorah?
But the kid didn't make the menorah.
The kid made everything.
He did.
Everything.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It says that Moshe had a seed and then it says
Yeah.
he made the
Like I showed you, right? The Torah says, like Moshe, Hashem says to Moshe, I like it. But it's a very interesting concept. There's a debate, the Rambam brings it, that, Hashem says to Moshe, we're gonna make this menorah and this thing, but you're not gonna make it. I'll make it.
Right.
So why you tell me you're gonna do something that I'm not able to do? Right? Because it says, everything will be done. Right? Even what you do during the week. It says, whatever ya'aseh. Ya'aseh means that Hashem will do for you. Whatever you do during the week is not really you. Hashem does it for you. You just be the vessel to do it. So why Hashem says to Moshe, here, create the menorah. Moshe said, I don't know how to do it. Say, okay, I'll do it for you. I'll show you how to do it. So the Zohar bring it beautiful, and the Rambam actually speaks about it. It says that, when Hashem explains something to us, when we want to do it, as if we've done it. Right? When you have the ability to think, I can do it. Right? You are positive, I can do this. Hashem told me I can do it. Even though I cannot really do it, to make a menorah, one piece gold in a desert while traveling is not simple, right? But Hashem says to Moshe, you'll be able, by thinking of it and able to do it, you'll be able to do it. I will help you to do things. Hence, that everything that's been done is for Hashem and for us to be able to do. Because Hashem says in the book of Genesis, when He stopped the work, He never finished the work, right? Asher bara Elohim la'asot. God stopped for us to do more, right? Because when it comes to Shabbat, it's amazing. This Parashat Vayakel has, in the first 3 verses, 39 words. And they all include speaking about the Shabbat. You know how many, transgression against Shabbat that we're not allowed to do? 39 against every word in this parasha. Right? It said, it says, Vayomer Moshe kol tzad lemor, ze hadavar shezivat. It says, Vayikel Moshe, Vayomer lem, ele advarim, do, sheshet yamim te'aseh. 6 days you will be done, te'aseh, and uveyom melacha uveyom hashevi yelachem kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton. So, when there is a 39, lametet melachot, the things that we cannot do on Shabbat, you know where they came from? So we know Adam, Chava, and the snake and the earth got 39 curses. Adam got 10 curses, Chava got 10 curses, the snake got 10 curses, and the earth got 9 curses. We do a tikkun for the sin of Adam. When we do Shabbat, in a sense, it's very interesting. When you do everything that has to do for Shabbat, it says, "Lo tevaru esh bechol moshvotechem beyom haShabbat." Do not make fire for you on the Shabbat. But in the Mishkan, when the Mishkan exists, you do everything on Shabbat. Right. You do fires, you do sacrifice, you do everything. So hence that the kedusha of the Mishkan is above nature. It's not part of earth. It's not really obligated by the laws of Shabbat on earth. So that's why it says the first thing that Hashem, out of all the 39 melachot, there's one melacha here the Torah mentioned that you're not allowed to do. Fire. You know why fire? Out of all the 39, why fire? You're not allowed to light fire. Lo tevaru esh bechol moshvotechem beyom haShabbat. Don't light fire wherever you may be. Don't start your car on Shabbat. Don't light a match on Shabbat. Don't light a cigarette on Shabbat. Don't light your candle, your thing on Shabbat. Why? Why only the fire? Out of all the 39, fire is the only out of the 39 melachot that you have to die for.
That you
die for. It's the sin that you make on lighting fire is mavet. That's what the Torah says.
God's presence has been coming.
Yeah. So everything else, 38 transaction, you can bring a korban chatat or korban hasham, the sacrifice. The penalty for lighting is to die.
Got it.
Unfortunately, that's how important it is to understand the power of Shabbat. And it says something amazing. It says, why? It says, Kol ha'oseh bo melacha yumat. You have to die for this. When you murder somebody, you don't have to die right away, right? If you die in an accident, you go to the city of shelters, you do learn Torah for until the Kohen Gadol passes away, and then you come out. That's why the mother of the Kohen Gadol used to make a lot of food, so people don't ask for the Kohen to die. Right? In a sense, in the city of shelter, there were, we have, main 6-1, the main 3 in the land of Israel of the west, 3 in the land of Israel of the east, and then 42 small others. Right? This is the city of Levites. That's where there were all the yeshivot in Israel, so to speak. People come to do tshuva. But when it comes to Shabbat, Hashem says, be careful. This is what the word says in the Torah. Shabbat Shabbaton la'Adonai kol ha'oseh bo melacha yumat. Lo tevaru esh. Don't light fire. And it says something amazing. It says that, the people donated so much that, as we said, Moshe says enough is enough. Right? We're coming to an amazing days now. We live in days of, the end of days, really. Everything that you see today, everything you see today is the last prophecy. Okay? The last prophecy that we live in, it says in the last days, when Mashiach will be revealed, the king of Edom will kill the king of Persia. This is like what happened. Yeah. Yes. It says that, there'll be a war, that the king of Persia will create such chaos in the world, try to kill the Arab neighbors, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, all of those people that supported him for so long. Then all will come to the king of Edom, says, help us. And the king of Edom will go to the king of Israel and say, let's work together. Because, Noah says that Shem, Shem is the Hebrew son, and Yafet, the Christian son, would dwell together in the end of days, meaning they'll help each other. So now we see what's happening now is, killing of the Haman of our generation. The last prophecy says that Hashem will raise all the old, so-called tyrants of the world, the Hamans, the Sancherib, the Zerubbabel, the Nebuchadnezzar, the Hitlers and all that, and kill them and kill the people that help them. So whatever you see today, there's 70 nations in turmoil today in the world, is Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog in Gematria is 70. 70, if you look at all what's going to happen in the world, from Russia through Ukraine to North Korea, through the Middle East, through Africa, through Europe, there's 70 nations fighting now. This is really the end of this. Something else happened. In the end of this, there'll be no more pennies. Techale pruta min hashuk. Techale pruta min hashuk. This is one of the signs. What happened 2 months ago? No more pennies, right? Trump says, I'm not making pennies anymore. Nahon? This is really finishing of the pruta. Pruta is a penny, right? So it says something amazing. It says that, when it comes to all of this giving, people, kasher idvenu libo. People give whatever they want to give. It was so beautiful, so much. Why? Because, the people of Israel sinned with the golden calf. Hashem says, originally, there was not supposed to be a Mishkan. Originally, Hashem says, V'shachanti betocham, I would reside within you. But because of the sin of a golden calf, the golden calf was not done by the Israelis. It was done by the Arab Rav. It was, Bilam had 2 children, Yunius and Yumbrius. There were children, literally, some say 6 and 7 years old in the Gemara, that there were such magicians, they actually made the golden calf. Micha, the little boy that Moshe saved, and he stole the golden tass that Moshe threw to bring the Joseph bones back from the Nile. He wrote, Ale Shor Ale, rise, ox, rise, and he put the name of Hashem, the Meforash, and threw it. The calf rose, and Moshe took the bone. Micha, this little boy that was part of the so-called cement in the pyramids that Moshe saved, will steal that and will throw it into the golden calf, and then the golden calf will speak, Ani Elohecha, I'm your God. The power of the name of God, even Adam object can speak. So Moshe Rabbeinu, now because of the sin of the golden calf, Hashem gave them the Mishkan to reside within them. It's very interesting. We read the Torah, what they use for the golden calf? They use gold, Zahav. Right? Zahav is the tikkun. We read the Torah on the day of Zahav. We read the Torah on Shabbat, Zayin, Hey on Thursday, Bet on Monday. This is what we do tikkun for the golden calf. So Be'ezat Hashem, I want to finish with one more thing. I want you to, Be'ezat Hashem, we are very, very much, everything that's happening to us is the hand of Hashem. There's no mistake. This is, to fly 200 airplanes, 1,600 kilometers each way, back, bombard everything, destroy everything, come back, and everybody come back healthy, Baruch Hashem. Amazing. Thousands of missiles all over the world, and we have very few casualties. Elohim Yishmor. It's called kapara. It says that Hashem comes and take the best roses. Yarad dodi legano, right? The God Hashem come to his garden and take the best roses, so thousands will not die. So we live in the days of miracle today. This is the first time in the history F-35 shot down another airplane in mid-air, combat, Israeli pilot, right?
Yep.
Same happened, by the way, with the F-16. The first F-16 that shot anything down was an Israeli pilot. Last week, we had a torpedo that hasn't been shot since the Second World War, right?
They took out the whole Navy.
They took 42, 42 is very interesting. The Navy of Iran had 42 boats. 42 is the name of Hashem, right? So we live in a very amazing time now. Don't take it lightly. Do everything something better for yourself. Because you know, what's
ready.
going to save us? Our mitzvot, nothing else. Not our bank account, not our friends, not our parents. Each one individually has to do and be ready. Like Yankele here says, be ready. You have to be ready. How do we get ready?
Born ready.
Yeah, we are born ready, but you have to be ready, right? To say is one
But
thing.
you were born circumcised?
It says naaseh v'nishma, right? We shall do and then we hear. So Be'ezrat Hashem, I wish all of you to do more good. And Be'ezrat Hashem, le'ilui nishmat Nisan ben Mordechai, le'ilui nishmat
Abraham ben David.
Avraham ben David, neshama in Gan Eden, Be'ezrat Hashem. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you,
And
Rabbi.
I want to say one thing about Chabad. You know, Chabad is one of the most wonderful, amazing organizations. In 1950, something amazing, many you know, you don't know. When the Rebbe became the Rebbe, because he was, you know, officially in 1951. But in 1950, they start, you know, interviewing everybody. And the rabbi says, I want to do something when I become, but I want to do it now, before I became the rabbi of Chabad. I want to send the first shlichim to Morocco. He opened the first Chabad in Morocco. They said, they asked him why. He said, the Moroccan rabbis, they know the secrets more than anybody else. You know, Sepharad is, you know, there is Sepharad, is Pardes, right? The letter of Pardes, the 4 parts of the Torah. So he sent to Rabbi Raskin, if I'm not mistaken, another rabbi, to start Chabad in Morocco. It became the largest group of Chabad in the world. There was, even my grandparents went to Chabad. My father went to Chabad when I was a kid. It's amazing. It says that, you know, we want, and you know, they said that Mashiach, there was 2 Mashiachim. Every generation has 2 Mashiach. The Mashiach that was, you know, has to be alive. The Mashiach has to be alive. That's what the Gemara says, and that's what the Zohar says. That the time,
Rambam doesn't say that.
the Rambam says
Rambam
that, yes,
doesn't
in the
say that.
Bavli, of course. I'll show you.
Rambam,
Yes.
he says it can be
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes, it has to be alive.
No, that's
Yes,
not.
and I'll show you. But anyway, so it says that in the time of the Rabbi Schneerson, Zalman, and the Baba Sali, they were the 2 Mashiachim of the time. They knew it. They were the 2 Mashiachim of the generation. Every generation has Mashiach. Is whether we are, benefiting the benefits of revealing or not, it's up to us. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we merit all of us to see Mashiach. And go have Korban Tamid in Yerushalayim, barbecue galore, as we say. I thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.